like this. FEMA, oh honey, um, Doge is exposing every goddamn department in our government, and I'm here for it. FEMA sent $59 million to luxury hotels for migrants. Elon, the Doge team just discovered that FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants. Sending this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high end hotels for illegals. A clawback demand will be made today to recoup those funds.
You know what? People are talking about he doesn't have security clearance. He's getting all of your information at the Treasury Department and he's jeopardizing ordinary folk. No, he's not. Your information at the Treasury Department is by some low-level high school dropout temp who doesn't give a damn about you, and they sell your information, and if they get caught, they go to jail. Elon Musk has a top-level security clearance. This is the guy that has the trajectory information, the technology first at hand. He's the boss to launch thermonuclear warheads from 8 to 10,000 miles away, to launch a 200-man mission to the moon or Mars. He's the one that can send up the boosters that allow the military's satellite systems to be serviced or installed. Mm-hmm. And got a top secret clearance, and you're worried about him. This whole thing with DOGE is like you've got England and they're going to build a new mall. They start digging and they stumble on an artifact and they bring in some archaeologist and they start digging and they find that the site is going to be built on 4,000 years worth of history if you dig down deep enough. That's what it is with a bureaucracy. What Doge is doing is digging down deep to see where the current part of that bureaucracy is built on, what's below it. Okay, how much money is being spent? I remember one time talking to an admiral, acting admiral, and he was going through the base records where he was assigned, and he was getting astonished with what he was finding. And a personal thing, I remember when I was with a DC think tank, I was an intern, so I got a second job with a government agency. And when I was leaving to come back to LA, I was through with the intern thing. And I went over to resign from the federal agency. And they said, no, don't. You'll ruin everything. We'll just lose the money. So if you just give us your forwarding address, we'll send you the check. So for 3.5 years, I got my check every month for a job I hadn't shown up to in 3.5 years. I was in LA and then in Tennessee, so they were forwarding my checks. You see, why was I getting paid? I wasn't showing up for work. And then we know something. When do the social media ratings go up? It's when everybody is supposed to be at work and they're bored to death and they're in that cubicle, and instead of doing the boss's work or the agency's work, they're on social media collecting a check, doing nothing but wasting the agency's time. That's when the ratings go up. While people are at work on the East Coast, Central Time, Mountain Time, and Pacific Coast Time, when they're at work is when the listenership, the attention to social media is at its highest, and that's when they're supposed to be working. That same kind of thing exists in these bureaucracies. You've got 10,000 people working for the bureaucracy, you need 600.
Well, real quick. So I wanted to read this. It says, the money is meant, FEMA, the money is meant for American disaster relief, and instead it's being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. Musk has said he's leading an agency tasked with cutting back on government overspending. City Hall officials told the Post that no one has reached out to action, reach out, reach out to action on Musk's demands. The hell?
See, you know what else is wrong? Title 8, Section 1324 et seq declares all of these hotels set up, all of these sanctuaries, aiding, abetting, conspiring, assisting to do this is a felony. So all of these people, from mayors to chiefs of police to sheriffs who are going to resist ICE to governors, they are committing a felony. And I used to represent people where the feds charged them with this 45 years ago, over in federal court, in trials. I know what it is. And these people have committed felonies when they're relying upon the forbearance of the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Justice Department, to not prosecute. Now they've got a new sheriff in town, and he's deputized some people, and I think some folk are going to rightfully go to jail.
So it says here, there's a couple of people pushing back saying the hands-off approach to Musk coincided with Adams convening a meeting of his top commissioners to tell them to avoid criticizing Trump in order to avoid putting billions in federal funds for the city at risk. This is what the Post learned. Only 19 million of the 59 million that Musk highlighted in his tweet will go towards housing migrants in hotels, luxuries, or otherwise. We have already spent $7 billion on this crisis alone, and the previous administration committed only 237 million in funding to help house the migrants in our care and for future services. This is a statement by City Hall in New York City. But
no damn migrants, they're invaders and they're illegal. They crashed the border. They're criminals. They need to be deported and temporarily housed in Guantanamo at the moment.
Right. And
all of these people that in North Carolina that got dispossessed by the hurricanes, the ones that got burned out in California, they need to be in the hotels, not somebody that's probably a Chinese national of military age male on standby for when he gets an order to do something sabotage like, or somebody in Al Qaeda or ISIS who is ready to commit acts of terrorism. And all these folk have military grade explosives that they've been allowed to bring in, no inspection, no vetting, and transported and living in luxury hotels right down the street from where the Twin Towers was located, right down from Wall Street. Nobody gives a damn. And don't forget the thousands.
No, they were in Times Square.
Some criminals who have been convicted, who've been turned loose with no supervision, no parole, no nothing, sex offenders, rapists, kidnappers, you name it, murderers, drug dealers, and they are loose in the United States of America. And now we don't know where the hell they are, and people need to be put in jail for harboring them.
Well, this is the thing, because ICE is arresting a lot of the illegals. So I think whatever money that went out to these luxury hotels last week, that was probably money that was owed to them for housing the migrants.
Yes.
The Biden administration. So
put them in a damn derelict athletic state.
I look at it like this: if they're still in these luxury hotels in Manhattan, then that should be easy for ICE to go to and round them up and deport them.
Yeah, but remember, New York officials are trying to resist this.
And no. Let me interject.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say the mayor. I said New York officials. Remember the Democratic elected officials who are in opposition to the current mayor because they.
Yeah, but the mayor has carte blanche over them.
Yeah, but it may or may not. But there are a lot of cops. There are a lot of elected officials around and about.
Oh no, the cops. Well,
yeah, I didn't say the balance. I said there are a lot of them, and New York's got a humongous number of cops. There are probably some that'll be on board, but
But here's the thing, though. I don't think that. I was just saying it's easy for ICE to go around the ball, but they're not in these hotels anymore. That's just back pay for when they did
I know
house them.
they're
But
not
so
there.
let me interject this real quick with the mayor of New York. So Trump's DOJ is going to toss out New York City Mayor Eric Adams' bribery case. Agrees with Dem that charges were politically motivated by the Biden administration. So the Justice Department ordered Manhattan prosecutors to dismiss the bribery case against Mayor Eric Adams. And as we know, prior to Donald Trump being sworn in, even before he won the election, Mayor Eric Adams was pro-Trump. And after he won and he went down to the inauguration, so he knew to get on their side, on Trump's side, because the Biden administration was throwing him under the bus because Mayor Eric Adams, during this whole migrant crisis that hit New York real bad, he will go down to DC, but like, listen, I need more help. I need more money.
I'm not going to defend him, but the point that I said weeks and weeks ago was they were throwing him under the bus because his posture on the illegal invaders was not good, and then he flip-flopped. Good for him. But the point of the exercise is it was politically motivated. So there are a lot of Democrats that want him to stay under the bus, but he's not, because he flipped the script on him. And remember, he was an ex-cop. He is an ex-cop. So you have to take that into consideration. Now, the point that I'm making is that if anybody had had any decency, it would have been America first. And this money that they obligated themselves to pay these luxury hotels should have been spent on needful American citizens, homeless veterans, putting people back to work. This could have been seed money to set up small businesses and stuff to employ people. It wasn't. It was thrown away so you could get some people to live in luxury. See what you're missing in America. Everybody has a pot of gold and a chicken in the pot, language they'd understand.